Hey y'all, it's Miss Berry. Just making a video today about Maleah, and I was just going through all the news articles because I was trying to figure out what's going on with Derion. Now, since Maleah's been buried, I want to know, what's happening with this case. But we're gonna go to this article from News One, which was posted on Monday, June 24th. It says Maleah Davis was laid to rest in a private service on Saturday. The 4-year-old girl was tragically killed, and 27-year-old Derion Vence, her mother's boyfriend, has remained the lone suspect. Her service was held at a church in Houston. According to ABC 13, Craig Davis, Maleah's father, said guests wore pink bracelets with Maleah's name. Brittany Bowens, her mother, released a white dove at the burial ceremony. Maleah Davis was laid to rest in a My Little Pony casket, which was her favorite cartoon. So sad. A eulogy message titled "Remember Me with Love" was written in her voice and read, "I enjoyed my life and I want to thank everyone who made me laugh, smile, and love on you. At only 4 years old, I enjoyed school. I loved all my friends at Attitude, Respect, and Manners Daycare. I would eagerly make new friends so that we could sing and laugh together every day. I will always hug and sing with all my cousins and friends. I love you." Davis was last seen alive on April. Last seen alive in April, and Vence is denying any responsibility, even though he was being held in jail on related charges. "I would never do anything to hurt her. That's not me," Vence, 27, told ABC Texas station KTRK. In an interview earlier this month, "Ask anyone who knows me, and they'll tell you I'm not that type of dude, and I was good with the kids. I ain't no killer, bro." Police claim Vence led them to Maleah's body, but he somehow was still maintaining that he had nothing to do with her death. Vence remains jailed on charges of tampering with a corpse, but he has avoided more serious charges. He originally told Sergeant Mark Holbrook of the Houston Police Department's Homicide Division that he, Maleah, and his 2-year-old son were on their way to George Bush Intercontinental Airport to pick up Bowens, who was flying in from Massachusetts the night of May 4th. Then said he heard a popping noise and pulled over. He said a blue pickup truck pulled up behind his vehicle and 2 Hispanic males got out and hit him in the head. He said he lost consciousness and woke up at 6 p.m. the next day. He said Maleah was missing, but his son was still there. Vence claimed he walked to a hospital, received treatment, and then reported Maleah was missing. Rest in peace, Maleah Davis. Now, whoever wrote this article, there's a few typos. So if you see this video, you might want to edit. So sad. It's a beautiful casket, but so sad. This is what it looked like at her funeral, at her service. So they wrote a eulogy in her voice, which is kind of interesting, but nonetheless, it's just terrible. And this guy, Craig Davis, her father, I've been side-eyeing him from the beginning because when she was hurt that one time and she ended up busting her head and ended up with the brain issue, skull fracture, or whatever it was, Craig, as her father, should have been able to take her in. However, he wasn't even considered by CPS for some reason. Now, that's something I'm curious about, but I'm not even going to go there because this ain't about him. He getting enough fame on Instagram. Okay, so here is an article written May 29th. Derion Vence's attorney files motion to withdraw as counsel.
This just into our newsroom, an update on the search for Maleah.
Okay, Um, Thomas H. Burton III filed the motion Wednesday, citing Vence and his family have not paid him and failed to comply with terms of the employment. So his lawyer left. His lawyer dropped him because he wasn't getting paid. And that's the only reason why he got dropped or dropped out. And Vence is charged with tampering with a human corpse. That's what he's in jail for. He's not in jail for murder. He's not even the suspect. So this, to me, is very interesting. I want to know, when's he going back to court? This was written on May 29th. This article was published on May 29th that his lawyer dropped out. Now, this article posted on the 5th of June, titled, "I Ain't No Killer, Bro. Derion Vence proclaims innocence in death of Maleah Davis during jailhouse interview with Houston reporter." The man jailed in connection to the death of 4-year-old Maleah Davis is protesting his innocence from the confines of his Texas jail cell. "I ain't no killer, bro," Derion Vence told KTRK. "I love Maleah so much. I did for her more than her own parents." To me, that stands out. I did for her more than her own parents. I would never do anything to hurt her. That's not me. I'm just, I'm very interested to know, like,
Where this lives.
when is this guy
like
gonna
drip coffee, layovers,
And waiting on hold.
What we don't like is
Where is
relying
it?
on fancy technology for help.
Let's just
Snail mail.
do that and get back to the root. That threw me off. I just want to know when he's gonna go back to court, because I'm anxious for this to get started. The baby, she's been buried, and now it's the time to figure out what's going on. What happened to Maleah? Derion Vence, the stepfather and prime suspect in Maleah Davis's murder, denies killing the young girl. "I ain't no killer." This was published 2 weeks ago, probably somewhere around the 5th or 6th, during that week. Let's see. "Chauncey, I love Maleah so much. I did for her more than her own parents. I never had a biological daughter. I would never do anything to hurt her. That's not me. Ask anyone who knows me, and they'll tell you I'm not that type of dude, and I was good with kids." Vence is charged with tampering with evidence. When asked about Maleah's death, he says she didn't suffer. "Nothing bad happened to Maleah," Vence said. I'm a little baffled. I'm very baffled. I want to know, what happened to Maleah? Nothing bad happened to her, but she died. What happened to her? So I'm very interested. I'm very interested in knowing what happened to her. Houston community activist Quanell X, who previously represented Davis's mother, claimed Vence admitting to putting Maleah's body in a trash bag and then dumping the bag in a wooded area in Arkansas. It's so sad. Okay, so this was 2 weeks ago. Let's see what else is going on. I just clicked on all the articles that look more recent. So I'm going through them as I am recording, because I guess just to keep my wits. I don't want to start crying because it's so sad. Okay, so Maleah Davis case, Derion Vence's cell phone records seized by police. Okay. All right, so this is June 6th. Investigators want the information from Derion Vence's cell phone, including his location during the time Maleah Davis was missing. Vence has been charged in connection with the death of 4-year-old Maleah. Houston police requested the information, including geolocation and cell tower data from Verizon, covering the dates from April 30th to May 15th. Hold on, I need to cough. Excuse me, I don't even know if I muted it, but Okay, Vince initially told police that he was driving to the airport with Maleah and his 2-year-old brother when he was attacked by men in a pickup truck. He claimed he blacked out and later discovered Maleah missing. Police found several inconsistencies with Vince's account. Maleah's body was found Friday, May 31st in Hope, Arkansas. Now that was interesting to me because of the way he said that he dumped her. He put her specifically under a sign with the word hope. It's very interesting. But it says a mental health evaluation has also been ordered for Vence, who remains behind bars. And this goes on to talk about his interview with Chauncey Glover and how he said he's no killer, and now it says here, I should be home with my family, with Maleah, the kids, and Brittany, cooking dinner and watching Netflix. Vence said, nothing bad happened to Maleah, but she died. I'm so, like, that confuses me. Quanell X, my opinion on Quanell X is that he kind of poked a lot of holes in the story, which would be for the investigators to kind of fill. You know, as they do their investigations, they will, I guess, piece together all the information from Quanell and Derion, although a lot of that information that Quanell publicly stated was not even accurate. So, I don't know. I just hope this case gets figured out, because I know Brittany has something to do with what happened to Maleah. If she didn't do it, she knew what happened. Like, she's not oblivious. She's walking around with her wedding ring on, which means she's riding that jail time out with her guy. But she set him up, if you ask me. But I could be mistaken. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an investigator. I don't have all the details in this case. I'm just a child advocate who cares about children. Houston community activist Quanell X provided the revelation, saying that Vence told him the girl is dead and that her body was dumped off a road in Arkansas. According to Quanell, Vence admitted to him putting Maleah's body in a trash bag, putting the bag in the trunk, and then driving to Hope, where he dumped the bag in a wooded area. Sorry. It's just so sad. Maleah Davis, suspect's dad points finger at missing girl's mom. Let's see what this says. This was written on May 21st. Calling his son innocent, the father of Derion Vence, the only suspect in the case of missing Maleah Davis, spoke out from his home in St. Louis. Oh, Ikit Mel, he got a shout out from ABC 13. KTRK says, in an interview with the Ikit Mel YouTube channel run by Melvin Cedeno, Joe Vence Sr. admits his son's story of being attacked and kidnapped while checking a tire sounds far-fetched, but he is asking the public to hold that judgment.
And in Humble.
PlanetFord.com with 20,000 off MSRP on new.
Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm new to this. So, if please excuse me. He said, yeah, I believe my son is innocent and I believe his story, Joe said. Derion had those kids most of the time. He's the one who took care of the kids. Now let's refer back to, was it The Root? Where he said, I did for her more than her own parents. Okay. Vence says his son was the most responsible adult in Maleah and her two brothers' lives, doing all the daycare drop-offs, most of the pickups, helping them with developmental delays, and raising Maleah like his own. He said the girl's mother, Brittany Bowens, is a liar. I believe that. I believe she's a liar. Because there's no way, I don't know, her story from the beginning, even though it came from Quanell, She never refuted anything he said until he decided he wasn't working on her anymore. But everything that he said in all those interviews, she did not refute them. She did not say, hold up, no, this is wrong. This is what it is. This is what it is. So Brittany Bowens is a liar. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. I really believe either she has something to do with it, like he's been set up some type of way. Okay. Joe said, I know he didn't do anything to her because he loves her. He's been taking care of her since she was like 1 year old. And as far as allegations made by Maleah's mother claiming Derion abused and molested the little girl, he says they're fabricated. Why would you leave your child at home with him if he's doing all of these things, Joe said. And that's the question that I have as an advocate for children who works in the court system voluntarily, where parents sometimes do things that they might regret regarding their children later on in life. But in a situation like this, if you know that if you claim he's doing all these things, my first question is, how come you didn't take your children with you to the funeral? If you knew that, at least take her and leave the boys, something, right? The baby should have been on the plane with you. Or if you couldn't afford her a seat for her, you should have rented a car and made your way to Maryland for your father's funeral. I just don't believe that she just went to the funeral, everything was fine and dandy, and when she came home, she couldn't find her daughter, her boyfriend, and her other son, the baby. It's so confusing to me. Let's see. We're gonna be okay. So the father claimed he was actually doing laundry when he left with the laundry basket. But it was later that same day, on Friday, May 3rd, when investigators say a surveillance camera caught Derion leaving the apartment again with only his 1-year-old son. So, to me, I just want to know what's going on. What is going on? What happened to Maleah? Okay. They say the 2 cadaver dogs hit the trunk of and inside the family apartment, they found drops of blood in the hallway. The blood that they said they found inside the house, if you look at the report, it says related to Maleah because it's her brother's blood from his toothbrush. Darion's father, Okay. He remains behind bars $45,000 bond. So he needs $4,500 to get out. I guess in Texas, I would think in Texas, they probably do the 10% thing too. Okay, now. This is another article that I clicked on, Fox 35 Orlando. Why there is no murder charge in Maleah Davis case, according to police. This is updated on June 7th. Police said they're still waiting on Maleah Davis's cause of death from the medical examiner. According to a Houston police investigator, they don't have enough information to prove intent. That's why there is no murder charge at this point. Police say they're not looking at other suspects at this time. Surveillance video shows the first time Maleah's mom, Brittany Bowens, was seen on surveillance video after her return from Massachusetts early Saturday morning on May 4th. In the video, she is seen going by to check on the apartment. Investigators say police got a search warrant to obtain Derion Vence's phone records for 3 or 4 days prior to Maleah's disappearance, up until a few days after Vence was arrested. Vence is currently in Harris County Jail and charged with tampering with evidence, namely a human corpse. So, he's only charged with tampering with evidence. There's no proof that he killed Maleah. Supposedly he admitted to killing her, but I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I want to watch this case. I want whoever did it to be held responsible. And I just want justice. I want justice for Maleah. Okay, so this comes from the CW39 Houston. An order was filed Wednesday for a mental health or intellectual disability assessment for Derion Vence, the stepfather of Maleah Davis. Vence has been in jail since May 11th when he was arrested on the charge of tampering with evidence, namely a human corpse. The order means qualified mental health staff from the Harris Center will conduct an assessment to determine if Vence has a mental illness or an intellectual disability. That's the latest in the case. On May 31st, Vence's attorney filed a motion to keep community activist Quanell X from visiting Vence in jail. This was after he allegedly confessed to Quanell about Maleah's death being an accident and where her body was dumped. On June 4th, Vence's attorney filed a motion to keep everyone from visiting him unless the request to visit is in writing and approved by the attorney. That motion says since Vence has become the subject of media interest and he has been repeatedly harassed and requested for interviews. Also, earlier this week, Vence's attorney requested a subpoena for the phone records, including texts from all law enforcement involved in the case. This is not out of the ordinary, however. It does show that there has been progress made in the case that, of course, so many are interested in, namely me, because I need to know what is going on. He goes back to court on July 10th. So please, let's be steadfast on that. I'm gonna put that in my calendar so I could be on point. Okay, so Monday, June 17th, an inmate in Harris County Jail claims he first alerted Houston police to the location of 4-year-old Maleah Davis's body nearly a week before her remains were found in Arkansas. David Chalfant and Derion Vence were both housed in protective custody floor inside the jail. Chalfant is waiting transfer to prison on an armed robbery conviction, while Vence is charged with tampering with a corpse in connection with Maleah's disappearance. Chalfant told ABC 13 Eyewitness News that Vence allegedly told him how the 4-year-old girl died. In an exclusive interview, Chalfant said Vence initially told him she died from the flu in her sleep. I told him nobody's going to believe that. There are pictures of her walking behind you. She wasn't sick. I asked him, why did you hide the body? And he said he panicked because of the time she had fractured her skull before. Chalfant explained. And this is why Brittany should have took her daughter with her. On Saturday, Chalfant said not only was he aware of the location of the remains, but that Vence told him exactly how she died. He said she was sitting on his lap and he tossed her off and she hit her head, Chalfant said. Chalfant said he then forwarded that information to detectives and has still not received a response. Social activist Quanell X was credited with getting the confession from Vence, which ultimately revealed the location of Maleah's body. Chalfant said he is the only one who initially gave the location, along with a handwritten note he gave to detectives based on information from Vence shared with him. This guy, I'm not going to say nothing about him. I'll just leave it. Why did they wait to act on that, he asked. Chalfant didn't realize that by the time remains were located, the black trash bag containing them were being plowed over by a highway maintenance crew, compromising whatever evidence was in there in its entirety. So sad. Visibly emotional, he said, do you mean they may not have a cause of death? Does that mean he won't be charged with murder? Chalfant believes Quanell X was brought in to prevent him from qualifying for the reward money offered for finding the little girl. Well, that makes a whole lot of sense. Quanell X was brought in to prevent Chalfant from qualifying for the reward money. Now that's very interesting. He said he intended to keep a small portion of the reward and return the rest to the people who pledged cash to bring her home. Okay, this is the last article that I pulled up. Told him how Maleah Davis died before confessing to Quanell X. Okay, this was all June 17th. I was just looking for more recent articles because most of them are very old. But this is basically the same thing that we just saw here on ABC 7. Please, I just July 10th is when Vence goes back to court, when Derion Vence goes back to court. Okay, this might end up being a situation where they continue it and he'll, but we want to just watch. We want to watch this case. We want to see what comes out. We want to learn more about Derion Vence and this broad Brittany Bowens, because I don't trust her as far as I could throw her. And I know damn well this father, the dad, Craig, check his Instagram and tell me if I'm bugging, because this is Instagram, Belfort_Scott_Craig. Check his Instagram, because to me, I mean, if he was such a concerned father and just loved his daughter so much, what the F happened? What happened? How come he wasn't there to protect her? And, I don't understand that. I just don't. Everybody's in the same city and state, not far from each other. What happened here? What happened to Maleah?